Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV, and this is Accurate Context. So, y'all, I just wanted to revisit the Love and Marriage Huntsville Super trailer. I dropped my reaction video, and if you haven't seen that yet, please go check it out. But I just wanted to address something that I saw in the trailer. For one, it seems like there's going to be a theme of wanting to minimize Martell's actions and villainize Melody for making the decision to report his threat to the proper authorities. It seems like, and I said this in my reaction video, like no one is really going to hold Martell accountable. They feel like the charge isn't a big deal. And it's quite alarming to me because Martell's actions, the action that he admitted to, this isn't a situation where Melody took something out of context and just ran and filed a report to be quote unquote petty. He made the threat. He admitted to it. He admitted he made the threat on Queen Sheba's interview and also on Tasha K's interview that he did. He admitted that it was an intimidation tactic. And for those of us who watched all of this play out in chronological order on social media, we know Melody wasn't bullying him, because that's the excuse that he's using. He came out, dropped some IG lives in a red cap in a Popeyes parking lot, talking about their child custody case, talking about Melody's parenting, talking about his children's behavior. And when Melody caught wind of the misinformation he was online spreading, she decided to respond via IG stories to clear up his untruths. But he didn't want Melody to speak. So what did he do? He threatened to release Revenge P on Melody. And Melody called it out immediately. As I said, those of us who watch this play out on social media, we know the sequence of events. Melody called it out, I'm guessing, immediately after he texted her the threat. After that, Melody wasn't even speaking on it. But then Carson Blue, a former friend or acquaintance of Ariane, aka Coleslaw, who was or is Martell's mistress, now turned baby mama, Carson Blue appeared on the show last season during the tea party that Melody hosted. And when she appeared on the show, she was being called out on social media for being one of Ariane's friends, being on Ariane's IG lives. And so Carson, she came out to let people know that she and Ariane were not friends anymore. And the reason she said was because Ariane told her that Martell wanted her to create a fake account and set it up like it was a man and released the video he had of himself and Melody, but it would seem like Melody was performing, quote unquote, performing on this other man. And it's this man who recorded and leaked the tape. Because you see, Martell and his side chick, they have been on a mission to prove that Melody is just this ho 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 Martel said it on camera during one of the seasons. He's been trying to paint this picture that Mel is also a cheater. And the only proof, I guess, that he has is this quote-unquote video of Melody performing. But it's a video of Melody performing on her then husband, who was Martel. See, we have seen and heard about some of the things that allegedly went on during Melody and Martel's custody battle, including Martel showing up to places he wasn't supposed to be showing up, including Melody's home, Martel assaulting people on Melody's team, Martel allegedly going to a set where Melody was working and creating a whole ruckus. We've also heard about Martel hurting his son, the son he has with Melody, according to court documents that Martel provided to Queen Sheba. And he provided those documents in an attempt to gaslight and manipulate Queen Sheba and the audience. See, he wanted Queen Sheba to tell lies on his behalf. But see, he didn't know that Queen Sheba operates with integrity. And so Queen Sheba, she went through the documents that Martel sent her. See, y'all want to believe so badly that it's Melody sending bloggers information. But no, all the documents from their custody proceedings, Martel was sending those to bloggers, not Melody. So Queen Sheba, she went through those documents with a fine-tooth comb so she could have full context for the interview that she was going to do with Martel. And because he didn't realize that Queen Sheba was going to do her job, when he started to make certain claims and she said, that's not what the document said. See, he didn't want Queen Sheba spilling that his son told the authorities that Martel hit him until he bled, until his arm hurt so badly that he was begging his dad to bring him to the hospital. Martel didn't want that out. And in my opinion, each of those times that Martel was acting up and acting in a dangerous manner, it would definitely have warranted Mel to press charges. But she gave that man grace. She allowed the family courts to do their job and to make a fair decision. And even during their divorce, when Martel stole money from her account, Melody could have pressed charges, but she gave him grace then too and never filed. So I need everyone on that cast to tell me, how much more grace does Martel deserve from Melody? When should Melody start protecting herself from all of his dangerous antics? So when it comes to this threat he made to release Revenge P on Melody, she had to go make a report to protect herself. And so I am going to explain for people like Courtney, who will be saying things like this during the season.
Domestic violence in the third degree.
Harassing communications.
Wasn't it like a text or something?
Domestic violence sounds terrible.
But it was poor communication. What if he really meant to do her harm?
Domestic violence is not the same as harassment of communication. That's a phone charge.
Because DV is not just physical, AB use, where you can see scars and bruises or broken bones. It's a myriad of physical, emotional, psychological, even financial warfare that a lot of people find hard to get out of. And I hope Carlos and his production team, as the season unfolds, will do their best at providing information about helplines and other resources that women in DV situations, where they are being forced to remain silent because a threat of their intimate videos and photos being leaked, if they fight back, is looming over their heads like a dark cloud. I hope Carlos King provides resources or information about resources that these women can utilize. And if you're looking at my screen, I have that info up. And there are many other resources that y'all can utilize if you are someone you know is a victim of Revenge P threats or the release of Revenge P. Alright, so now let's get into why Melody Cherie had to do what she did in terms of reporting Martel's threat. And even though her choice shouldn't require an explanation for people like Courtney and Marsau and Maurice and other members of her cast who feel like that's not DV, that's just a phone charge, we gotta break it down for them. So here we go. And I hope that I can keep y'all's attention because I know I talk slow. It's gonna be a lengthy video. All right. So in Alabama, harassing communication can be considered a form of DV under certain circumstances. So as I said, for Courtney and Marsau, who are going to say DV sounds way worse or it's just a phone charge, that's not the case. So go educate yourselves. Domestic violence, or DV, refers to a pattern of abusive behavior that occurs within a domestic or intimate relationship, typically involving physical, emotional, financial, or psychological harm. Harassing communication, which includes repeated, unwanted contact or communication that causes emotional distress or fear, can be classified as a form of DV in Alabama when it occurs within a domestic or intimate relationship. This means that if the harassment is directed towards a current or former spouse, a person with whom the offender has a child in common, a parent, a child, or a person who is or has been in a dating or romantic relationship with the offender, it can be considered DV. Now, the state of Alabama recognizes the serious impact that harassing communication can have on individuals within a domestic or intimate relationship. So by classifying it as a form of DV, the legal system aims to provide protection and support to victims, as well as hold offenders accountable for their actions. Now, under Alabama law, the threat to release Revenge P is considered illegal and can be classified as a form of DV. Revenge P refers to the act of sharing explicit or intimate images or videos of someone without their consent, typically with the intention of causing harm, embarrassment, or humiliation. Now recall that Martel told us in his Queen Sheba interview that he did send Mel the text with a screenshot of their video, and he said that yeah, he basically didn't care if it was going to end him. He was going to post up the video. So recall that he said that. And as I just read, the release or the threat to release is typically with the intention of causing harm, embarrassment, or humiliation. So in his mind, he was going to release that, in my opinion, to cause Mel harm to her brand, to embarrass her or humiliate her. All right? The state of Alabama recognizes the serious harm and impact that Revenge P can have on individuals within a domestic or intimate relationship. So by classifying it as a form of DV, the legal system aims to protect victims and, as we said before, hold offenders accountable. Revenge P can be considered DV in Alabama when it occurs within a domestic or intimate relationship. This means that if the threat, let me say that again, this means in Alabama that if the threat to release Revenge P is directed towards a current or former spouse, a person with whom the offender has a child in common, a parent, a child, or a person who is or has been in a dating or romantic relationship with the offender, it can be classified as DV. Okay, Courtney? The DV is not just physical violence. Alabama law prohibits the distribution or threat. So for those who are like, but he didn't do it, the law in Alabama says that they prohibit not only the distribution, but also the threat of distribution of sexually explicit material without the consent of the person depicted. This includes the threat to release Revenge P. Violators can face criminal charges and potential penalties, including fines and imprisonment. So I guess when Martell made the threat, he didn't understand how severe his actions were. Mel consulted with her lawyer and realized that what he did, and she knew this already, because everybody at this point should know that Revenge P is a crime. There are laws on the books. So she knew that what he was threatening was illegal, and she spoke to her lawyer and she made the steps to protect herself. We're going to continue. Now, every website that I went on in doing my research about what to do if somebody threatens to release Revenge P stated that reporting a threat to release Revenge P immediately is important. And it's important for several reasons, and I'm going to break it down. One is personal safety. Revenge P is a form of harassment and can have serious emotional, psychological, and social consequences for the victim. By reporting the threat immediately, you are taking a proactive step to protect yourself from potential harm and further victimization. 2, legal protection. Why it's important to report a threat to release Revenge P immediately? For legal protection. Many jurisdictions, including in Alabama, have laws in place that criminalizes Revenge P. So by reporting the threat, you are providing law enforcement with the opportunity to investigate the situation and potentially hold the perpetrator accountable for their actions. This can help deter future incidents and ensure justice is served. So this is why Melody had to go report his threat to cover herself legally. 3, prevention of spread. Reporting the threat can help prevent the release of intimate or explicit content without your consent. Law enforcement may be able to intervene and take action to prevent the dissemination of the material, protecting your privacy and preventing further harm. So in essence, Melody reporting his threat to the proper authorities probably helped in preventing Martell and perhaps his baby mama from releasing whatever video he threatened to release, because now he's on police radar. See, he can't release it or have his baby mama release it or have somebody else release it and then say, oh my God, how did that happen? My phone was stolen, or my iCloud was hacked, or my computer was hacked. He can't say that. Or even if he says it, they would have justable cause to run a forensic on his devices to make sure that he didn't, because he would have already been on their radar for threatening to release the tape. See what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? You picking up what I'm putting down? Excuse me. Finally, reporting a threat of the release of Revenge P sends a message, and a clear one. See, by reporting the threat, you are sending a message that Revenge P is not acceptable and it will not be tolerated. Your actions may help raise awareness and contribute to the efforts to combat Revenge P, creating a safer online space for others. Melody has daughters. She is a woman who is also an inspiration to many other women. By standing up for herself, she's teaching her daughters that if in the future, God forbid, you are in a situation where your ex is out here saying they're going to release intimate videos that y'all may have done together or intimate photos that you might have sent, she's telling her girls and she's telling other young women and women in general that you can stand up for yourself. You can go report them as a precaution. That is what Melody's action did, not only for her girls, but for women in general. Remember, reporting the threat is an important step towards protecting yourself and seeking justice. It is also crucial to document the evidence. So I'm sure Melody took a screenshot of the message, because Martell told us in his Tasha K interview that he deleted the message, but I don't mean anything. So document the evidence and reach out to the appropriate authorities just like Melody did and seek support. Talk to people in your family. Let them know that this threat is looming. Talk to your friends. Let them know that this threat is looming. And as Melody also did when he made the threat, she blasted it on her social media when she said, not Revenge P, I had to make these kids with you some type of way. So she put everybody on notice that he was out here threatening to release Revenge P on her. So I am hopeful that as this particular season and this particular story plays out, and as some of the cast members are saying things like this.
Domestic violence in the 3rd degree.
Harassing communication.
Wasn't it like a text or something?
Domestic violence Sounds terrible.
But it was poor communication. What if he really meant to do her harm?
Domestic violence is not the same as harassment of communication. That's a phone charge.
I hope Carlos King, Kingdom Reign, his producers, his editors, whatever you want to call them, will have PSAs up and numbers for hotlines and organizations women can contact if they are facing this type of harassment and DV. I'm hopeful that it won't be another protect black men narrative, because we shouldn't be out here calling for the protection of those who have proven time and time again that they are not good men, not good black men. See, when a woman shares she's being harassed and she's being threatened, it shouldn't be, well, that's not that bad. Or, well, wasn't it just a text message? It should always be, if she does not feel safe, she must do what she must to protect herself. We shouldn't wait until a woman is physically harmed or unalived to say, oh my God, I didn't know it was that bad. Or, if I knew it was that bad, I would have helped her. When she was out here screaming and telling y'all everything that man has been doing to her. And when the man himself has admitted to the things that he has been doing, big or small. Because at this point, when she's harmed physically or unalived, it will be because y'all would have been guilty of being the ones who cuddled him. Y'all would have been the ones who minimized his dangerous behavior and invalidated that woman's experience in the same way some of y'all are trying to invalidate Mel's experience, even after Martel has admitted to threatening and harassing her. So, to sum it all up, in the state of Alabama, harassing communications of an ex-partner or an ex-spouse is considered DV. Threatening to release revenge P of a former romantic partner or ex-spouse is also considered DV in the state of Alabama. What you should do if someone is threatening to release revenge P on you is to report it to the proper authorities so that you can cover yourself legally and in the process prevent that person from carrying out their threats. Melody Cherie Rogers did nothing wrong in reporting Martel. Thank y'all for listening. Please remember to like this video, share the link to my channel if you feel like my content needs some crowd, and subscribe if you have not done so yet. As I always say, walk good. Bye.